எஸ் 4.0 நிகழ்ச்சியல் தமிழ் கற்கலம் ஒரு புதிய பதிப்பு மகாகவி பாரதியார் ते मधुर தமிழேச உலகம் எல்லாம் பரப்பும் பாகே செய்தல் பெனுடும் என்று சொன்னார். ஆதே நமது பாரதர பிரமதர் நரேந்திர மோடிஜி அவர்கள் காசி தமிழ் சங்கமம் மூலம் நிறைவேற்றி கருக்கிறார்.
Well, it's a wrap on this bulletin, but before this, I'll leave you with the glimpse of the New Year celebrations across the globe from last night. Take a look.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for staying with us. You're watching Plain Speak with me, Shivani Gupta. Trinamool Congress leader Abhishek Banerjee has launched a blistering attack on the Election Commission, accusing it of harassing Bengal through the special intensive revision of voter rolls. TMC delegation today met Chief Election Commissioner Yanesh Kumar and put forward a list of concerns. So let's take you through.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Today, from Auckland, dazzling fireworks to London's Big Ben countdown, from New Year's, Times Now Square will drop to vibrant celebration across India. Millions around the world have welcomed 2026 with joy, hope, and a spectacular display of light. Streets, squares, and skylines lit up as people embrace the spirit of togetherness, bidding farewell to 2025 and stepping into promise of a brand new year. Here's to fresh beginnings, brighter days, and the world united in celebrations. Take a look at this ground report filed by Ishan Wani from Gulmarg.
It looks like Kashmir.
Good morning and a very happy new year. I'm Tritsween Walia. Welcome to this special edition of the Breakfast Club. It's an action-packed 1 hour on the very first day of 2026. Well, as we step into the new year, today we pause to look back before we look ahead, because the big question is, were the conversations, the trends, the headlines and the moments of 2025 just events, or were they signals of the world we're stepping into now? So we'll open with that conversation, and as we do that, we also stargaze into the year ahead with a spiritual guide as we decode the energies of 2026 and what they're offering us this year. And then we go over to our young mountaineer, the girl rewriting the limits of human endurance, Kamya Karthikeyan. She's been with us on the show before, but she's just wrapped up with one of the harshest terrains on the earth, the South Pole expedition. This remarkable journey was as much about harsh conditions as it was about the unparalleled scenic beauty that she shared with all of us. So we'll go over to her in just a bit, and then joining us live will be Praveen Prajapat, the performer who shot to global fame after his electrifying appearance on America's Got Talent, a performance that crossed borders, broke the internet and put an Indian creator firmly on the world stage. That and much more coming up this morning. But as we step into this new year, a lot of people are looking for answers about work, about money, relationships, and what their life is actually going to look like in 2026. Not predictions to scare them, but clarity to plan better. What kind of year is 2026 shaping up to be? What habits matter? What mistakes are people repeating without realizing it? So let me quickly go across to astrologer and life coach Jai Madaan, who's been speaking about the broader energy of the year ahead. Career choices, financial focus, emotional balance and timing big decisions. Good morning, Jai Madaan. Thank you for being with us. A very happy new year to you.
Good morning. Happy New Year to you and all your viewers.
Thank you. I hope it was a great start for you. But speaking of 2026, Jai Madaan ji, tell us, we've seen so much happen the last 1 year across the world, in India. So many trends have changed, evolved and really shaped how we think, how we feel and what we're going to do next. But overall, you've already been giving us glimpses on social media. Does 2026 feel a lot calmer or more intense?
So what we saw in 2025 was end of everything, because when a 9 number year comes, it brings the circle to an end. So, you know, a lot of misconceptions, a lot of shocks is what year was all about. Now this year, I don't want to start anything which is not positive, because even if something is bad for some, it always works good for some. So it is about us how to get positivity from something, even if it is not working out for us, because we can't give up no matter whatever it is. This is what I feel. So it's a year of sun, it's a year of new beginnings. And you know, whenever you start anything new, it's like a new system will set up for the next 9 years. So I see AI taking a big leap right now. Up till now we've been talking about it, the pros and the cons, and whether it will take away the jobs, it will be more refining, etc, etc. Now this year we see a lot of things taking shape within it, and how the utilization and the new generation is going to shape up. So this is a year of new beginnings, this is a year of transformations. As a country, we'll have little problem on our borders, but that is expected between January to June. So yes, there is some geopolitical stress that we might go through, but you know, we as a race, as humanity is a survivor, we are fighters, and I'm sure this too shall pass.
And that has been the story of the last few years, not just 2025. Jai Madaan, you're telling us, rebuilding, reinventing, resetting, all of this is going to be witnessed in 2026. But tell us about how we should let go of the 2025 baggage. What should we not carry forward, and how do we go about it, more importantly?
You know, we can only pick up the baggages to each suitability. We have forgotten COVID. We talked about maintaining nature, the clean rivers, the clean roads, the clean air. See, we are back to where we not even left at. So for us, letting go is very easy as per the convenience. But yes, some people have really gone through a lot of shocks, a lot of tragedies. But we all do at one point of time in our life, certain shocks, losses of people we love. But we cope up, take little time and move on. I think the best thing to do in life, and leaving what you can't go back and take a reverse gear, is to think positive, look forward. I mean, you can only look in the car for the rear view, but you can't drive looking at the rear view. That's what we have to keep telling ourselves and guiding ourselves.
And COVID has been a big teacher. We've seen people lose out on their loved ones. And we've seen so many scary stories, which brings me to the question of relationships in 2026. Jai Madaan, what kind of emotional shifts can people expect, and what should they follow for healthier relationships this year?
So, see, last year, if you see a trend, because I understand that because I work on an astrology app, and when we research the data, now the year has ended, and you'll be surprised to see that suppose if we have 1,000 people coming in a day for, astrological consultations with different people we have in our app, 85 to some days 92% the issues were only relationship. Now that's really shocked me, because the generation which is the tech operative generation, which is between 15 to 45, is where people download apps, and they're very pro. They believe in the understanding of long distance communication with people. My mother would never download an app and talk to an astrologer on a phone. She can't do that. So this generation between 15 to 45 is actually disturbed with relationships between 85 to 90%. Now that result is really shocking. So what I see is that emotional stability is what people are seeking in life. Either people are dating multiple people, they are cheating on each other, they have a lot of fear of losing. So there is a lot of validation that people need in relationship. I see the same trend picking up this year also. I see relationship shaping up in a more social way rather than emotional way. You wish each other anniversary, putting pictures of each other on social media, and you're not doing that at 12 midnight or whatever time to each other. So this is how it's just a facade which is left, and I see the same trend unfortunately this year also. And this is something which is a wake-up call for all of us.
If one were to ask you, and I'm sure a lot of people come to you with that question on how individually can we break away from this pattern, do you have any suggestions?
I personally feel that if it's just like two people in a relationship have two empty bowls, and you're asking, give me something out from your bowl, and the other person is asking, no, you give me something from your bowl. Both the bowls are empty. What I personally believe, and I tell people, that if you can sit in a restaurant alone and enjoy your company, and sometimes say once in 3 months, 6 months, you go to a cinema hall and watch a movie alone and enjoy yourself, that is a day you declare that you love yourself. And until you don't love yourself, you can't accept and love the other person the way other person is. So the journey has to start from internalizing your love, and then it can go wherever it has to.
That's a great pro tip. Okay, but speaking of the younger generation, also comes with a lot of aspirations. So Jai Madaan, is it a good year for risk-taking, career switching, side hustles? What are your thoughts there?
So 3 things. After June, we will see better rise in commodities. So I believe that if you have little money also, no matter how hard you're working, we all save, as per our capacity and capability. And if you don't, then you must. And invest into silver and gold. You'll see jumps that you've not heard of or seen before. So that is a way where you make smarter money. The concept of hard working is one way of living life, but also a concept of smart working is another way of life. With so much of information, especially thanks to your channel also, which is guiding so much. So investment is one way where the young generation should learn, understand, and make themselves more skillful in it, because this is how you can actually grow in multiple pursuits together.
And if one were to ask you about a daily practice that can help them stay grounded with so much happening around us, so much instability, so much of a social media pressure that we find all over the place, what is that one thing that people can follow, practice on a daily basis?
Now your word had the only magic and the secret in it. You said, how do we stay grounded? So we are just like trees. The trees who have deeper and more grounding, more deeper roots are the ones who go higher, and they grow taller. This is exactly with us. Whenever you feel very low, you feel very rejected, dejected, neglected, or whatever emotional, trauma you're going through, just try and sit outside in a garden, under a tree, or anywhere. There should not be any distance or any cloth between you and the ground. That is where you can just imagine your legs, your feet, and your lower part of your butt has roots and it's going down in the earth. Now the moment you're done imagining it, imagine there is a lot of height coming from your upper body touching the sky. So the moment you start practicing grounding practice in your life, you actually become much more calmer. Your breath rate, your brain waves get into alpha and theta mode, and you can think more clearly, you can practice what you preach, and you can actually live a much more calmer and a relaxed life, which is important for your growth.
And is it a good year to dream big? Is it a good year to manifest big dreams?
Can I repeat your question?
I was
Can
asking
please
you,
repeat your
speaking
question?
of dreams, is it a good year to dream big? A good year to manifest big dreams?
Yes, this is a year of sun. Let's understand I'm sorry, Sufi is here. She keeps finding me. Will you say
we've
hi to
met
everyone,
before.
Sufi?
We've met before.
I think she loves your channel. So this is a year of sun. Now you see sun in the solar system is a very disciplined planet. If you are disciplined, if you're regular, if you're persistent, there's no looking back for you in life. So this is a year of dreaming big, shining bright, becoming bright as well.
A lot of people want to not repeat the mistakes of the previous year, especially in the financial domain. So what are those things that people should follow very closely if they're looking at, multiplying their financial wealth while staying grounded, because we're keeping all of those factors in mind too?
See, as I said, that this is also a year where we'll see a lot of important transits happening with the planet called Jupiter, because Jupiter is Atichari, it's moving in a fast forward speed. So don't put all the eggs in the same basket. That is one big learning that you need to learn from last year. There are 3-4 sectors that, because Jupiter is also going to be exalted for 3-4 months here in this year. So silver, gold, copper, look for all the metals. Secondly, defense sector, we'll see a good height in, we'll see new technologies coming in, we'll see a lot of government benefits and government organizations, government manufacturing also gaining good height. So this is a year to watch out for right trends and right things to invest in.
Okay, we'll let you go. Not going to take too much time. It's the new year. I'm sure you have lots lined up for you on the 1st. But tell us, before you leave, what pro tips would you want to send out to all viewers who've tuned in to start their year on the right note? And you've said this in many ways, but if there was one tip you were to send out.
I will just say that in the morning when you get up, you have to remember looking at your palms that, there's a beautiful shloka which says, Karagraste vaste Lakshmi kar madhe Saraswati kar mule Govinda prabhatam karam darshanam. That means when you give bell to somebody, you give it through your fingertips, right? You give money or credit card saying this. So you remember that you have wealth here. When you write, in earlier times you used to write, or a child writes holding the pencil like this. So this is where your knowledge and your wisdom is, and this is where your strength is, because that's how you lift weight, through your strength of your wrist. So you have all the capabilities. Remember that we are part of divinity. Never feel low and never feel negative in life. Look positive, count your blessings, and they'll only grow.
Count your blessings. That's the one thing we're to follow. 2026 blindly. Thank you so much, Jai Madaan ji, for taking out the time and speaking to us. Happy New Year.
Pleasure. Happy New Year to all of you once again.
Okay, speaking of 2026, we're going to rewind a bit. And we're going to start by looking at something very simple. What India typed on Google this year? Cricket, remember, still sits right at the top. The IPL dominated searches all year long. Add to that the 2 big World Cup wins. Alongside it, films, viral trends, AI tools, religious events, and very basic questions about safety and about, not to forget, air quality. What stands out is who people search for. Not movie stars or politicians, the most searched names once again were cricketers, young players, women players, emerging faces. Names like Vaibhav Suryavanshi were the most searched. Sports clearly mattered more than celebrities in 2025. Entertainment searches, though, also followed a similar pattern. Regional films, franchise titles drove interest. Films like Kantara, Sayyara, War 2, Coolie, they stayed in the search charts for weeks. On streaming platforms, familiar shows continued to hold attention, like Squid Game, Panchayat. These are the shows that were searched heavily when new seasons dropped. And then there's the most telling category, near me searches. This is interesting because it had searches around earthquake alerts, air quality, hospitals, petrol pumps and pharmacies, even ice cream and tea lounges. National events also pushed large search spikes. Elections, the Mahakumbh, the Waqf bill, ceasefire updates, Operation Sindoor, air quality alerts, earthquake warnings once again were highly searched. And then there's travel searches. They show another side of the story. Pilgrimage planning surged, so did visa appointment searches, and finally technology. AI searches were everywhere. It was at the heart of multiple conversations. People weren't asking what AI is, they were asking how to use it. So let's make sense of what this search behavior says about us and how this is a reflection of the year we're starting off today. I'm joined now by author and academic Makarand R. Paranjape and also writer and cultural commentator Advaita Kala. Thank you to the both of you for joining us this morning. Mr. Paranjape, I want to begin with you. You know, we've spoken about the search history, what Indians were thinking like through and through 2025, but we want to focus on what next. And what does this tell us about the year that we've already entered, where India might be headed by reading what India is thinking, fearing, aspiring to be in 2025? So what are your thoughts there? What are the big signs you've picked up as I wish you a very happy new year?
Yeah, happy new year to you and your viewers as well. You know, I'm an eternal India optimist, so I think that we are doing well and we'll even do better than we have done in 2025 and 2026. Just look around, look at Bangladesh, look at Pakistan, look at Sri Lanka, Nepal. I think we are a spot of stability and prosperity in a sea of uncertainty. But having said that, I think that 2026 may throw up some surprises, not so pleasant ones, possibly, even in the realm of politics. And when it comes to the economy, again, India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. We should be proud of it. But to maintain our advantage, we'll have to, I guess, work very hard at deregulation and making India more business friendly. We are an over-regulated country, as we all know. And we also have to learn to take advantage of AI. We haven't been able to incorporate AI as much in our workplace as many of the other countries have. And when it comes to your Google searches, I mean, I'm not so much a celebrity watcher, but I think when it comes to cultural trends, the film Dhurandhar seems to have struck a chord. And it's actually a part of a larger trend, you mentioned Kantara as well, of films which are upending the traditional formula, you know, of filmmaking and blockbusters, both in Bollywood and also in the South. And what's really happening is we are getting more culturally rooted as well as geopolitically bold expressions of what it means to be Indian today.
Are you saying we've started looking inward?
I think are not...
You think we've started looking inward? That's what 2025 has been?
No, I think we need to look much more inward, frankly. Okay. I'll be a little critical here. I mean, we've talked about Vande Mataram and so forth, but our air is very poor. Yeah. You mentioned that. So if you say Sujalam Sufalam, you know, Malaya Shitalam, you have to make your country ecologically beautiful. We worship rivers, but our rivers are really filthy. So we can't have these double standards, you know, keep harping back to our great heritage or our ancient wisdom, but actually live lives which are, I think, very low quality. Urban life in India is really low quality. And the reason for that is we don't own up to our cities. We're not proud of our cities. You know, Delhi is one of the greatest cities in the world. You know, like Rome or Jerusalem, it's such an old city. And we have to be proud of a city like Delhi or even Mumbai or Calcutta or Bangalore. I'm in Bangalore just now. It has the slowest traffic in the world.
Yeah. What you're essentially telling us is we should aim for the sky, but we should also constantly work towards it. We're not going to get the end result unless and until we get going and walk the talk really. Advaita, Happy New Year to you as well. Hope it was a great morning for you, but we want to keep that momentum going. So speaking of, you know, popular narratives, we're going to go back a little and touch upon what Mr. Paranjape said. Books, films, debates. If we just stick to these 2-3 domains, what do you think they have essentially revealed about India's mood? Because that's going to also tell us what we're looking at in 2026.
Sure. First of all, Happy New Year, Gregorian New Year to everyone celebrating it. You know, some of us acknowledge Vikram Samvat in April, so we still have a little more time to get things right before the New Year rolls around. But to those celebrating, Happy New Year. And just want to say that lots of interesting things happening on the books entertainment stage. Let me just add, Professor Paranjape had a book last year, which was very good. So compliments to him. And that takes me to the next aspect of this, we've seen a rise in non-fiction in India and around the world, really. Somehow it seems to be beating fiction when it comes to reader interest. So I think this year as well, we should see some very interesting non-fiction titles come into the forefront, wherein we actually engage with topics of our times and even that of the past. And there is this, on one hand, you have this AI dominance and everything is available at a click. And then on the other hand, you have basic human curiosity that drives us to dive deeper into subjects in a way that gives us more information, more knowledge, and more appreciation for where we came from and where we're heading. So I think that is something that I feel optimistic about. And it's a challenging time for the written word because there are so many options for entertainment, for distraction, that books always seem to be on the sidelines or the margins. But I think books are going to hold on and they're going to soldier on. They survive the radio, they survive television, they'll also survive.
Mr. Paranjape, I would love to hear from you what your thoughts are here, because Advaita has left this very interesting topic for us to deep dive into, which is what about books? So we've had all of 2025 a conversation around, is AI replacing human beings or has it already? Is technology replacing books or has it already? What are your thoughts there?
Yes, technology can only give us pseudo cognition, and it's only reading and writing and thinking, as my esteemed colleague Advaita knows, that can develop deep cognition even in children. So we've become digital addicts, and it's very, I think, serious and dangerous. Australia has banned social media for under 16s. I don't know if banning is the way to go, but I want to revert to a couple of other things. Big trends. You mentioned the Kumbh Mela. I was there, and it's the largest gathering of human beings on earth. And it was by and large very orderly and extremely clean. So we can do it, as you said, if we want to. I was also at the inauguration of the Ayodhya Ram Mandir at the beginning of last year, in January. And it was also an extraordinary event. So I think we see this cultural resurgence and confidence in India, which can take us forward into 2026 and, do better and bigger things. As to reading and writing, I think the book has become an accessory. People like to hold it. They don't like to read it. And I sometimes joke with my friends that there are more writers than readers. But personally, I'm going back to reading. I'm reading a new book on the life of the mother, Sri Aurobindo's spiritual partner. And it's an extraordinary book in a new series that is coming out. So I'm reading very intensely nowadays and enjoying it. There's another book by Arvind Subramaniam and
which is not surprising coming from you, Mr. Paranjape. But whether or not India's following, that is what we're trying to find out this morning. But speaking of what you just said,
I'm only saying that reading may come back.
Okay. Yeah. Spirituality leading to so much more, leading to money making, leading to this whole political scenario we saw around Mahakumbh, around Ayodhya, Advaita, we should shift our attention to what we spoke about, sports, entertainment, etc. Let's get our morning started with that. Sports in 2025, that was something. It wasn't just about winning men, women, cricket, chess, Olympics. It was also about identity and pressure. What are your thoughts there?
Wow, I would be far more comfortable talking about the Kumbh than talking about cricket, frankly, because, a huge problem.
We're going to start 2026 on a challenging note. I guess that's what we're doing.
Props to Yogi Adityanath for the Kumbh Mela. I mean, I'll tell you one thing about the sports. I loved how the women's cricket team came into their own. How they were kind of recognized for their prowess on the field. They won the World Cup. They became mainstream figures. And I think that was so gratifying and so important because young girls in our country we need that kind of goal. And we didn't have that goal when it came to sports. And now today, the next generation has that as a goal wherein they can aspire to it, they can achieve it, they can build a livelihood around it. And I think that was incredible for me this year in particular, was our women's cricket team really kind of taking their place under the sun. So that was a huge thing that happened this year. Of course, we're used to our chess grandmasters and our Indian male cricket team, but the women's cricket team, I think they won a lot of hearts this year.
We've also seen a little bit of, not a little bit, a lot of conversation around football, especially after Messi, arrived in India and he did the kind of touring he did, which prompted us to do a whole episode on this. Where does Indian football stand as we speak, Advaita? And the sense that one got through those conversations is that more than celebrating talent alone, so much of what sports in India means is now to do with constant performance. So there's performance pressure all the time. If you don't make it to a certain stage, you're not going to be given the recognition. Do you think that's a worrying trend, or do you think we're overcoming that?
Is that for me
that
or
was
for
you.
Professor?
Yeah, that
Professor's
was
back. Oh, I think, the thing with the whole Messi match, as I call it, in Kolkata, it was not a very auspicious start to the whole tour, grand tour that he was doing. But I think, football has been a passion point with a lot of our young people, and it's been, it's obsessive in Kerala and West Bengal, for example, as a sport. So I think there is an opportunity wherein we can promote another mass sport where we will have communities coming together to watch a sport. I think there is, again, I said, I'm not that much of a sporty person, but I do recognize the value of communal gatherings and how important it is, especially in a time where we're dominated by AI, for people to actually step out of their homes, step out from, the influence of their screens, and just basic human interactions. And I think mass sporting events are a great avenue for that.
This year is not turning out to be kind in terms of a good connection with the both of you all. We're going to have to wrap up. But Mr. Paranjapi, one last question to you, since we've tried our luck here. So we want your word on a cultural trend you thought in 2025 that could possibly mature beautifully in 2026.
Yes, I mentioned Dhurandhar, if you recall, and I think movies of that kind, they're probably making a film on Gulmarg, and the Chinese media has taken offense at that kind of portrayal. So I think that's going to be a trend. Patriotism is really trending in India, and I think it's going to increase. And there is a positive patriotism, of course, and there's an unfortunate side to it, as what happened in Uttarakhand, which is very unfortunate. I think I've always been saying this, but even if we are proud of ourselves and our culture, we should have an inclusive Hindutva, if you want to call it, and not a chauvinistic or exclusivist identity. So this is a good time, the Gregorian New Year and many New Years to come, to demonstrate our pluralism in India, and to demonstrate our inclusivity, and not to become narrow-minded, even if our neighbors sometimes go in that direction. I think India has always stood for that broad-mindedness. Ekam sat vipra bahuda vadanti. My earlier guest on your show was quoting Sanskrit. I think I should also quote. And this is from the Rig Veda, the oldest scripture of humanity, which says that truth is one, but the wise call it by many names. So I think that's a good note on which to welcome the new year.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up this conversation on that very optimistic and positive note. Thank you to the both of you. Always a pleasure, and Happy New Year once again. Okay, with that, we head into a very quick break. We're not done as yet. Lots more coming up. First up, we'll be going over to our young mountaineer, the girl making the entire country proud, rewriting history in ways more than one. More coming up after a very quick break.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Today. From Auckland, dazzling fireworks to London's Big Ben countdown, from New Year's, Times Now Square will drop to vibrant celebration across India. Millions around the world have welcomed 2026 with joy, hope and a spectacular display of light. Streets, squares and skylines lit up as people embrace the spirit of togetherness, bidding farewell to 2025 and stepping into promise of a brand new year. Here's to fresh beginnings, brighter days and the world united in celebrations. Take a look at this ground report filed by Ishan Wani from Gulmarg.
It looks like Kashmir is going to end the new year with winter chill and lot of snow. The western disturbances have started to hit Kashmir and we are in Gulmarg right now. It has started to snow. Though brisk, but is expected to gain intensity, and you will see the intensity of tourists on the ground has also increased with time and the visuals of snowfall. A lot of people across India are coming to hill stations like Gulmarg to enjoy snow and enjoy with their families and enjoy the eve of New Year. We are told that all the hotels in Gulmarg are running full and a lot of people are still coming to Kashmir to enjoy the winter spectacle that it has to offer. It's going to snow a lot more in coming days, and that's why you see this place, which was deserted post Baisaran, has once again brought joy on the faces of people, locals and also tourists who are enjoying here the mesmerizing landscape, clicking pictures, learning skiing, and the adventure activities have kick-started here in a place like Gulmarg. It's going to be a white New Year where snow is expected everywhere in Kashmir. Kids keep skiing and snowboarding, and this is the sort of visual that you would love to see from Kashmir. If you're planning to spend your New Year in places like these, or even after New Year, the Kashmir is a wonderful destination where western disturbances have started to approach and brought the whiteness everywhere. बर्फबारी में कितना मजा आ रहा है?
बहुत बढ़िया, बहुत मजा आ रहा है, बहुत मजा आ रहा है।
तो न्यू ईयर आप यहाँ पे कर रहे हैं और यहाँ पे बर्फ हो रही है, क्या कितना अपने आप को लकी मानते हैं कि आप यहाँ पे आए बर्फ के टाइम पे?
बहुत बढ़िया।
को पता था अब बर्फ होने वाली है, घूमते घूमते आ गए और बर्फ हो गई?
नहीं, जब कोई नियत लेके चलते हैं ना तो पता है। जब हम पंजाब से चले थे तो हम स्नोफॉल देखने के लिए लाइव देखेंगे, लेकिन हमें जो स्नोफॉल जो लाइव है जो मिली आके गुलमर्ग में।
बर्फ इससे पहले किसी आप में से किसने देखी थी बर्फ?
हमने फ्रिज में देखी है।
फ्रिज में देखी है इससे पहले, सो दे हैव जस्ट सीन इट इन देयर फ्रिज। और यहाँ पे देख के कैसा लगा आपको?
बहुत मजा आया, बहुत ज्यादा।
कैसा माहौल कैसा लगा आपको?
बहुत अच्छा जी, हम पूरा चिल कर रहे हैं और सभी दोस्त साथ में आए हैं और बहुत अच्छा एंजॉय भी हो रहा है और मजे भी कर रहे हैं।
पर न्यू ईयर बता के दिखाइए सबको। So like them, there are hundreds of tourists who are coming to Gulmarg and enjoying their
Welcome back. Young mountaineering prodigy Kamya Karthikeyan, who is just 18 years old, a daughter of a naval officer and alumna of the Navy Children's School, scripted history yet again by becoming the youngest Indian and the second youngest female in the world to ski to the South Pole. Kamya braved harsh weather of 30-degree gale force, minus 30 degrees Celsius gale force winds to cover approximately 60 nautical miles on foot from 89 degrees south, pulling a sled laden with her complete expedition load to reach the South Pole on the 27th December. She is on a quest to become the youngest person ever to accomplish the Explorer's Grand Slam, an ultimate adventure to climb the highest peak on all 7 continents and ski to both the poles, both the North and the South Pole. South Pole's done already, but lots more coming up for her.
Hi everyone, this is day 9 of the expedition and a beautiful day. We're moments from reaching the pole. This has been the most challenging, the most difficult, but also the most exciting thing I have done, and it's been truly an honor to be able to bring all of you along with me on this journey. And in just a few steps, we all would be reaching the ceremonial South Pole. And I'd like to welcome all of you 90 degrees south.
She now joins us live. Kamya is back to the world of you and I from this gorgeous view that we've seen the last 8 days. Kamya, we've been sharing your journey here on the Breakfast Club. Thank you for joining us and congratulations for the successful expedition. Tell us all about it. Tell us about the 8 days and how do you feel after having successfully conquered what you'd left for from home?
Thank you so much, and thank you for bringing everyone along for this journey. I think the video really encapsulates it. This has been by far one of the hardest things I've ever done. I've been climbing for almost 10 years now, but this expedition is so very different from mountaineering in many ways. We had about 40 kgs on our sled, and it was day after day, hour after hour of doing the same thing where you're just walking on a piece of land where everything around you for thousands of kilometers looks the absolute same. It's just plain white everywhere that you can see. When the weather packs up, it's just white everywhere. You can't even make out the difference between the sky and the land. And it's just such an out-of-the-world landscape, such a beautiful place to be, and so incredible. Of course, after a certain point in the expedition, it does get monotonous when you're looking at the same view every single day again and again. And that is part of the challenge of skiing to the pole. And it's been an incredible journey. It took us over 8 days to get to the pole, 8 very long days. A lot of the things, a lot of things I learned through those 8 days, a lot of challenges, a lot of setbacks.
A couple of injuries. Is what we see on your face. Yeah. This is a result of frostbite, is it? Because we did play out that story, that reaction that you'd sent from there, and it almost brought your expedition to a halt, right?
Yes, and those were injuries that happened very early on in the expedition, and that kind of was my first introduction hands-on to how extreme the conditions there could be, because in a matter of 10 seconds, where the buff around my chin had slipped down, the wind had caused those lesions along my chin, which almost ended my expedition. So just 10 minutes of exposure to the harsh environment there can cause such injuries. And I unfortunately had a couple of more injuries after that as well. You can see the patch here on my cheek and frostbite on the nose. But I think those leave a story to be told, and hopefully I'll be recovering from them over the coming few weeks.
Kamya, were you this optimistic about these injuries back then? Because right now you're fine, you're sounding positive that I've left all of this behind, but I'm sure it wasn't all easy.
Absolutely. I think it was a very difficult choice to make because, at day 3 when I was speaking to the doctors at Union Glacier, it took a lot of convincing to tell them that I was physically really prepared for this expedition. We'd been training for the past so many months or years, in fact, to be there. And one of the things that they explained was that these are injuries that might get worse and might leave permanent scarring. And, I needed to evaluate there whether that was something I was okay with. So I think that is something that definitely played on my mind for a very long time, when I was given that one extra day on day 3 to see if I wish to continue and if my injuries didn't get worse. I think that one day was mentally very difficult because all through those 5 hours when we were walking, I was just constantly thinking to myself, is this something that I'm okay with? Is this something that I want to continue with? And I think the answer was made evident by all the efforts we put in, because we traveled all the way there and I wanted to see it through. So I think the mental confidence that came from having done this for so long definitely helped me out quite a bit there.
Kamya, we were obsessed with the visuals that you were sending out, but I'm sure, like you rightly pointed out, it fades down after a few days, right? So it no longer looks that great to at least you and people who are part of this entire journey. But tell us a little about companionship, friendships that you formed through the last 8 days while you were out there, because we do see a group of 5-6 people. So what was it like?
So we were a team of 8 people. So
Okay.
it was 5 of us in the team with 2 guides and Eric Larson, who's a legend in the polar exploration world, who was there to do some videography and photography with the team. And that is part of the reason why we have such great visuals. I think one of the things that we struggle most to tell people is the fact that everything you see is the best parts. The worst parts are the parts where it's so cold and windy and harsh that you can't bring the camera out. But I think for me, the most important part of all of these expeditions is the people that you get to meet, because they're complete strangers at day one, and you're kind of trusting each other with your life in that kind of an
They
environment.
end up becoming family,
And so the
almost.
bond- Absolutely, the bond you form is so special. You're spending the entire day with each other. On this expedition, of course, there wasn't much opportunity for us to talk as we were walking, but the times that we did get to spend in the camp, spending Christmas together, huddled into a small tent, whether it was our guides going to that extra effort to make everyone's holiday feel special, or just talking to each other about how the experience was for us, how we were able to help each other. I think all of those things really bring you together as people in that short span of a week or so, and form connections that I'm sure will stay for life.
I do want to ask you, and this is a little tricky because how do you pick one? But if you were to just compare so far the climbing experiences that you've gone through, the peaks that you've conquered, of which you've also made it to the highest peaks of all 7 continents, and that's when we last spoke, to now this kind of a polar expedition. What is your analysis of how different they are, and which one comes first now that you've seen both?
I think they're both completely different in so many ways. I think one thing that does tie both of them together is the amount of preparation that goes into it logistically. In the sense that you have to think of the smallest of details. Everything needs to be perfect. You need to know where everything is in your bag, ready to go. I will say that my heart still belongs to mountaineering because it's where I started out. It's what I've been doing for so long. And I have enjoyed it so very much, and I hope to continue to do it for the longest time to come as well. But polar expeditioning, I think, is a new bug that I've caught onto, and definitely something that I want to explore more in the future.
Diplomatic answer, I see. Okay, Kamya, there's just one last chapter that you need to flip through, which is the North Pole. How soon is that happening, or are you going to take some time out?
We're hoping to ski to the North Pole next April. Of course, with climate change, a lot is left hanging because the ice near the North Pole is constantly melting. A lot of it is water. There are leads, which are pieces of water between ice shelves, which keep increasing year by year. And every year it becomes less likely for us to be able to go to the North Pole. So we're hoping to be able to ski there in April of the next year, but we'll see what the mountain and what the environment tells us and take things as they come.
Kavya, did it get very scary at any point during all these 8 days? Was there a moment of loneliness, of fear, of scare, of isolation that took over and made you rethink about why you're here?
I think probably when I had the initial injuries, and this expedition for me was very different because it was the first time I was climbing without either of my parents, on my own with a completely new team. And I think having that risk of being sent back after all these efforts was so overwhelming. I think thankfully for me, there was never that doubt of I shouldn't be here. But there was always that fear of being sent back despite having worked hard to be there. And I think that definitely plays on you a lot mentally. But I'm really glad that I was able to get through that. Everybody put in their efforts, whether it was myself, the rest of my team, my guides, the doctors. And I think it was completely a team effort, but also the psychological preparation, the mental resilience that goes into expeditions like this really helped me pull through those those initial day 3 and day 4
Okay.
moments.
Lovely. Thank you for sharing that wonderful journey with us, and thank you for sending out these lovely images and pictures and videos. And thank you for being such a role model to all of young India. We'll connect soon. Kamya, thank you and bye-bye.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, with that, we shift our attention to our next person of interest this morning, a folk artist from Rajasthan whose performance caught the internet's attention. Praveen Prajapat practices a traditional balance dance where precision matters more than spectacle. Earlier this year, a clip of his act on America's Got Talent went viral, shared widely for one simple reason. People could not believe what they were seeing and how this was so real. No effects, no safety tricks, just balance, timing and years of discipline. That clip pushed a regional art form into global feeds. So we're going to be going over to Praveen to understand all about his journey, his art form and what next for him. Good morning, Praveen. Hi, hope you're doing well. Happy New Year to
Morning.
you.
Same to you.
Okay, Praveen, we need to first start with that video, that one moment that's gone viral on social media. Tell us about it. You didn't just stop at doing the balancing act. You were also walking on glasses. What does it take?
Yeah.
How do you do it all?
Actually, it's a folk dance, Rajasthani folk dance. My father, Mr. Banay Singh Prajapat, he is my teacher and he taught me everything. My father does this act with 4 glasses, but I did it advance and I can balance 24 glasses. I did 18 glasses on America's Got Talent, and this is a folk dance. We dances while balancing glasses, pots on head.
Praveen, you made people dance there. We can see the 3 judges literally get up. उठ के मतलब नाच रहे हैं वो अपनी। इसमें समय कितना लगता है? इसको मास्टर करने में, परफेक्ट करने में कितना टाइम लगता है?
आई एम प्रैक्टिसिंग फ्रॉम लास्ट 10 years. मैं अपने फादर से लास्ट 10 साल प्रैक्टिस करता हूँ और स्टेज पे 3 मिनट में मैंने अपना परफॉर्म वहाँ पे दिखाया परफॉर्मेंस।
और इंडियाज गॉट टैलेंट से ये पूरी जर्नी शुरू हुई। अमेरिकाज गॉट टैलेंट तक आप पहुंचे। इंडियाज गॉट टैलेंट के एक और सीजन रही, तो वो इंस्पिरेशन क्या होती है, वो थॉट क्या होता है? हाउ डू यू डिसाइड व्हाट डू यू वांट टू डू डिफरेंटली इन द नेक्स्ट परफॉर्मेंस?
जब मैंने सब कुछ स्टार्ट किया था तो मतलब मैंने मेरे फादर को फर्स्ट टाइम स्टेज पे परफॉर्म करते देखा था। आई वाज इन दी ऑडियंस और मेरे फादर स्टेज पे परफॉर्म कर रहे थे और उस टाइम पे मुझे ये भी नहीं पता था कि मेरे फादर का प्रोफेशन क्या है। तो सभी लोग मेरे फादर के लिए क्लैपिंग कर रहे थे और हुटिंग कर रहे थे। तो उस टाइम में मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा प्राउड फील हुआ। मैंने सोचा कि मुझे भी कुछ ऐसा करना है कि सब लोग मेरे लिए क्लैपिंग करे, हुटिंग करे। देन आई टोल्ड माय फादर कि आप जो भी करते हैं मुझे सीखना है, और मेरे फादर ने मेरे को बोला कि आप अपने पढ़ाई पे फोकस करो। तो उस टाइम पे फिर मैंने पापा से थोड़ा छिपकर, अपने छोटे भाई की हेल्प से मैंने थोड़ा सा छिपकर मैं कुछ भी बैलेंस कर लेता था। लाइक रॉक्स मैंने बैलेंस किए, कभी मैं पत्थरों को बैलेंस कर लेता था, कभी ईंटें बैलेंस कर लेता था। तो मतलब वहां से सब कुछ स्टार्ट हुआ था।
गैस
तो लाइक
सिलेंडर भी बैलेंस कर रहे हैं आप। और ये सबसे पहले बताइए कि ये खाली है या भरे हुए हैं? हाउ मच वेट इज दैट?
सिलेंडर तो खाली है, बाकी मैं 4 सिलेंडर बैलेंस कर सकता हूँ।
हाउ मच वेट इज दैट प्रवीण? कितना वेट होगा इसमें जो आप इतने कन्वीनियंटली, इतने आराम से अपने सर पे लेके चल रहे हैं, नाच रहे हैं, झूम रहे हैं?
ये अप्रोक्स 60 kg के आसपास होता है।
तो इसके लिए is there any other exercise that you have to do or is it all about balance? मंत्र क्या है, मैजिक क्या है वहाँ?
मतलब इसमें थोड़ा सा मेडिटेशन भी चाहिए रहता है और डेली प्रैक्टिस, ये सब चीज इसके लिए जरूरी है।
And is there any particular diet you follow, Praveen? Are you very rigid about your routine? आप कितने बजे उठते हैं, क्या खाते हैं, क्या एक्सरसाइज, मेडिटेशन करते हैं, कि ठीक है मतलब ज्यादा आप सीरियसली नहीं लेते इस सबको?
नहीं, मतलब डाइट तो मैं ऐसे कुछ फॉलो नहीं करता, बाकी मैं डेली जल्दी उठकर मेडिटेशन करना और ये सब मैं चीजें करता हूँ।
प्रवीण, हम कोशिश करेंगे आपसे कुछ करवाने की भी, और पीछे हमें बहुत सारे मेडल्स और ट्रॉफीज दिख रहे हैं, तो हमें अपने दर्शकों के लिए कराना है पक्का। बट उससे पहले हमें ये भी बताइए कि क्या कभी एक्ट गलत हुआ है? क्योंकि ऑन सोशल मीडिया सी वी एवरीथिंग इज पिक्चर परफेक्ट, राइट? बट क्या गलतियां हो जाती हैं, क्या बैलेंस बिगड़ जाता है, और ऐसे में आप क्या करते हैं? क्योंकि चोट भी पहुंच सकती है, काफी डेंजरस है ये।
मतलब ऐसा बहुत बार हो जाता है क्योंकि बैलेंस है, कभी कभी मिस बैलेंस भी हो जाता है। डजंट मैटर कि अपने कितना प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, कितना क्या करते हैं, कभी कभी वो हो जाता है। तो मतलब एक मेरा इवेंट था गुजरात में। तो मैंने वहाँ पर जब परफॉर्म किया था तो मैं जो कांच का गिलास है वो मेरे पैर में घुस गया था पूरा, और मेरी 10 मिनट की परफॉर्मेंस दिखाने वाला हूँ। एक ये ग्लासेस है जो मैं बैलेंस करने वाला हूँ। फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये चिपके हुए नहीं है, ये एकदम ग्लासेस हैं, और मैं अभी ये एक के ऊपर एक ग्लासेस रखने वाला हूँ और फिर मैं आपको ग्लासेस पे चल के दिखाऊंगा।
थोड़ा सा आपको कैमरा पीछे ले जाना होगा, जूम आउट करना होगा जी। Okay, yeah, we can see you now. Oh, wow. So this was a small glimpse, प्रवीण, जो आपने वहाँ इतने सारे हजारों में लोगों को दिखाया, इसका छोटी सी झलक थी। सबसे ऑनेस्टली हमें अब बताइए, we're going to wrap up this conversation, बट बताइए 1 से 10 के स्केल पे कितना मुश्किल है, और अगर कितना डुएबल है, और कितना प्रैक्टिस की जरूरत है?
लाइक मतलब अभी तो मैंने आपको 4 ग्लासेस पे करके दिखाया रूम के हिसाब से, है ना। तो वहाँ पे मैंने जो बैलेंस जो मैंने किया था वो 14 ग्लासेस के ऊपर मैंने कांच के ग्लासेस पे चल के किया था, और मैंने वहाँ पे 18 ग्लासेस किए थे। और मतलब ये चलना मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा, मतलब इसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा हार्ड वर्क, बहुत ज़्यादा डिफिकल्ट है ग्लासेस पे चलना। तो मतलब अगर कोई करना चाहता है तो उसको मतलब डेली प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी, 2 से 3 घंटे डेली प्रैक्टिस करनी पड़ेगी, और मतलब मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी।
प्रवीण से थोड़ी क्लासेस लेनी पड़ेंगी। Thank you so much, Praveen, for entertaining us and starting our year off on that note. Thank you. Happy New Year to you once again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we head into a very, very short break, but we're not done as yet. It indeed is an action-packed first bulletin of the Breakfast Club in 2026. We'll be right back. There's lots more coming up. Stay tuned.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Today, from Auckland, dazzling fireworks to London's Big Ben countdown, from New Year's, Times Now Square will drop to vibrant celebration across India. Millions around the world have welcomed 2026 with joy, hope, and a spectacular display of light. Streets, squares, and skylines lit up as people embrace the spirit of togetherness, bidding farewell to 2025 and stepping into promise of a brand new year. Here's to fresh beginnings, brighter days, and the world united in celebrations. Take a look at this ground report filed by Ishan Wani from Gulmarg.
It looks like Kashmir is going to end the new year with winter chill and lot of snow. The western disturbances have started to hit Kashmir, and we are in Gulmarg right now. It has started to snow. Though brace
Welcome back. Well, India's pop culture in 2025 was a mix of viral trends, historic achievements and global crossovers, from cinema and sports to memes and music. Here are the biggest highlights that defined the year and possibly setting the tone for the year ahead. First up, Jaideep Ahlawat's viral dance. Known for his intense acting, he surprised fans with a high-energy dance sequence in Jewel Thief. The heist begins. The clip exploded across reels and memes, making him an unlikely dance icon. And the Women's Cricket World Cup victory. The Indian women's cricket team made history by winning the ICC Women's World Cup for the first time. Smriti Mandana's record-breaking run tally turned her into a national hero. Not to forget the Coldplay India concert. Coldplay's 2025 concert in India was more than music. It became a pop culture storm. And Shah Rukh Khan's Met Gala debut, one of the most talked about global